The old lighthouse stood on a craggy spit of land, a solitary sentinel against the relentless grey of the North Atlantic. Locals whispered it was haunted, a place where the sea bled into the spectral. I, Elias Thorne, a seasoned lighthouse keeper with more logic than fear in my bones, scoffed at these tales. I was taking over the 6-month shift from old Monty Fred, who had practically sprinted off the island, muttering about voices in the fog and eyes in the dark. The first few weeks were uneventful. The rhythmic sweep of the lamp, the mournful cry of gulls, and the constant crash of waves were my only companions. I diligently maintained the equipment, recorded the weather, and kept a watchful eye on the treacherous waters. The silence was profound, broken only by the ticking of the grandfather clock in the keeper's quarters, a heavy, ornate thing that had been there for as long as anyone could remember. Then, the fog rolled in. It wasn't the normal, fleeting mist. This was a dense, impenetrable blanket, swallowing the island whole. The foghorn bellowed its warning, a deep, resonant sound that bounced back from the swirling white. Visibility was reduced to mere feet. That's when the whispers started. At first, I dismissed them as the wind whistling through cracks in the stone. But they persisted, growing clearer each night, sibilant and unsettling. They seemed to emanate from the fog, a chorus of voices just beyond the periphery of my hearing, murmuring my name. Elias! Elias! I tried to ignore them, focusing on my duties. But the whispers became more insistent, more personal. They spoke of things I had done, mistakes I had made, secrets I had buried deep. My skin crawled with a primal fear. One night, as the foghorn echoed its mournful cry, I heard a new voice among the whispers. It was deeper, more resonant, and undeniably malevolent. Elias, come to us, the sea wants you. My heart hammered against my ribs. I barricaded myself in the lamp room, the powerful beam cutting through the swirling fog like a defiant blade. The whispers swirled around the lighthouse, a suffocating presence. I couldn't sleep. Every creak of the building, every rustle of the wind, sent shivers down my spine. I started seeing things in the fog, fleeting shapes, shadowy figures just beyond the reach of the light. I told myself it was exhaustion, stress, the isolation. But a growing dread gnawed at my insides. One morning, I found the logbook open, the page filled with the spidery, unfamiliar handwriting. It wasn't my writing. It was a message. They're closer than you think. Terror seized me. I searched the lighthouse from top to bottom, every nook and cranny. Nothing. Just the echoing silence, the ticking of the clock, and the swirling fog outside. That night, the fog was thicker than ever. The whispers were a deafening cacophony, pressing in on me from all sides. I stood at the edge of the lamp room, the beam cutting through the fog, illuminating nothing but swirling white. Then, I saw it. A figure emerged from the fog, tall and gaunt, its features obscured by the swirling mist. It moved slowly, deliberately, its eyes glowing with an unholy light. It was walking on the water, the waves parting before it as if bowing in reverence. Elias! The figure croaked, its voice a rasping whisper that cut through the fog like a razor. We have been waiting for you. I backed away, trembling with fear. I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that this was no hallucination. This was something ancient, something malevolent, something that had been lurking in the depths for centuries. It reached out a long, skeletal hand, beckoning me forward. I screamed, a primal sound of terror that was swallowed by the fog. Suddenly, the foghorn roared to life, a deafening blast that momentarily dispersed the swirling mist. In that brief moment of clarity, I saw the figure falter, its eyes flickering with uncertainty. I seized the opportunity. I grabbed a wrench from the nearby toolbox and hurled it with all my might. It struck the figure in the chest, and it recoiled with a guttural groan. The fog swirled back in, obscuring the figure once more. I didn't wait. I scrambled down the winding stairs, my heart pounding in my chest. I had to get out of there, before whatever that thing was caught me. I ran through the fog-shrouded island, stumbling over rocks and crashing through bushes. I could hear the whispers chasing me, growing louder and more insistent with each step. Finally, I reached the small dock where the supply boat was scheduled to arrive. I waited, shivering in the cold, the fog pressing in on me like a suffocating blanket. Hours passed. The boat didn't come. I was alone, stranded on the island with whatever lurked in the fog. As the sun began to rise, painting the fog with a pale, ethereal glow, I saw it again. The figure was standing at the edge of the dock, its eyes fixed on me. "You cannot escape, Elias," it whispered, its voice filled with a chilling certainty. "The sea always claims what is hers." I knew I was doomed. I closed my eyes, waiting for the end. But then, I heard a sound. The distant chug of an engine. The supply boat. I opened my eyes. The figure was gone. Vanished into the swirling fog. The boat docked, and I stumbled aboard, babbling incoherently about voices and figures in the fog. The crew exchanged nervous glances, dismissing me as a raving madman. Back on the mainland, I tried to forget what I had seen. But the whispers still haunt me in my dreams. The image of the figure walking on the water is seared into my memory. I know, with a chilling certainty, that I will never truly escape the lighthouse on the craggy spit of land. And I know that one day, the sea will claim what is hers. Because sometimes, the most terrifying things are the ones that exist just beyond the edge of what we can see, waiting in the fog. Waiting for us.